And voila, we are live on our Tuesday Red Room with Luke, and we got Lauren Rosen on today. We are going to talk about marketing, and specifically, we all do, some of us do texting, some of us do cold calling like Luke. Some of us still actually write letters, but Lauren's out there doing the most aggressive part of marketing and the most expensive, good old TV ads. So we're going to talk about that today. And the shifting market. I mean, that's going to be kind of a topic of conversation every day. One of the funds took a 10% cut on, all their buying today, which, for a homeowner is probably a 20% cut. So, just some stuff to talk about. But thanks for jumping on with us, Lauren.
Yeah, anytime.
So how long have you been running your TV ads?
How long?
Yeah.
About 2 years.
Okay.
And then we're doing some billboards and
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You got the billboard out on Union Hills. How many others do you have?
I move them, so I just keep like 2 at a time, nothing major, just to kind of see. I think it's just multiple things, I think what's different about me is I'm not just a wholesaler, I'm also like a realtor. So like with me, there's multiple ways that a deal could go. So by even with the billboards, it's more like a branding, getting my name out there, people getting to know me.
For sure, it makes sense. So
what's your, if you don't mind me asking, what's your cost per lead? So what's your cost per phone call inbound on a TV?
They're pretty high. They're about $1,500.
$1,500.
Yeah. So and now that the elections are happening and stuff, the fees have gone up. So I've pulled back on the TV ads as much as I was. And I think that, 2 years ago, there wasn't a lot of ads. And right now there seems to be a lot of ads by other.
Are you having better luck with your TV ads or with your billboards?
I'd say we're getting more with the TV, but we're spending a lot more on TV.
For sure.
But I think the most successful stuff right now is all the people that have been sitting on the fence are kind of ready to talk.
Yeah.
So I was really, really just going through my CRM and really going after the people that were on the fence a few months ago, and hey, we're kind of here, right? Let's get going.
Right.
Inventory's up 100% over 1.2 million in Arizona in 30 days.
That's insane.
Well, yeah. Well, just going actives wise, and this is everything on the market. I just kind of keep track of actives. We've gone from 4,200 to 8,600 I think an hour ago. So that's 100% just on actives. I think that's in a longer time frame. That's like an 8-week time frame. But that just gives you an idea. So if your cost per lead is $1,500, what's yours, Luke, on dialing for dollars?
So dialing for dollars, we're probably in the ballpark of around 200.
Okay.
For our ones that we do through PPC and everything, we're at $250 a lead, $250 a lead. And I mean, we had, I think we paid for 50 or 75 leads last month, and I think we got 9 deals out of it, and the 9 deals turned into 360,000 from those.
Right. So Lauren, what are you doing if you're paying 7 times the lead cost that Luke's paying? What is your process like to make sure? Obviously, you can't let any lead die.
we have a trifecta attack on it. So we have the wholesale division go after it, and then if it's not a fit, then the retail side goes after it. So we're trying to bring in multiple solutions. Everyone argues, but Open Door, and I'm like, Open Door is Wall Street. You really want to work with Wall Street? And so kind of talk people away from Open Door. I was like, my office is in Scottsdale. You can come find me.
Mm-hmm.
Or Open Door, good luck.
Sure.
I've shifted my budget pretty heavily away from television, and also started putting it into, I've been cold calling a lot and just pulling old data and kind of going after, like I said, the people that have been kind of sitting on the fence and having success. But I'm getting a ton of listings. So you're a wholesaler, you need to have a realtor partnership that's good at listings that can close, because it's just another way for you guys to make some marketing money is by a partner with a realtor.
No doubt about that.
So pre 8 weeks ago, what do you think your average acquisition versus listing was?
You're saying how many first listings?
Yeah. So was it 25% acquisition, 75% listing? Was it 20, 80? Any ideas?
Yeah, I'd say 25, 75, and right now it's flopped. It's completely opposite.
Yeah.
75. You got to think, okay, so the market shot up pretty drastically in October 21, like 20, 30%. No reason to run, right? And so when markets shoot up like that, there's a huge opportunity for wholesalers to make a lot of money because they don't know what the house is worth. Right now, if you go on Zillow, it's going to tell you your house is worth more than it is. So wholesalers start having a harder and harder time acquiring deals. Anytime a market shoots up, a ton of money, because like by the time the consumers realize what their house is worth, a few months have gone by.
For sure. Laura, are you I know you were flipping. Are you flipping at all anymore or no?
Do I flip? Yes.
You still are? You're not really backing off of flipping at all?
I'm being very careful.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll always have deals, but the two I'm doing right now, we negotiated in October, so we're really fine. But I'm definitely being more cautious, and I'm also only buying stuff that I would be okay about. I was like, okay, if I had to keep this as a rental. I went through the crash. I've been in the business since 2003. I started in financing, got into real estate, and in 2009, I did the trustee sales pretty heavy. It's kind of when I started meeting Chris.
Right.
And I've just seen it all, and my advice to everyone is save your money, live below your means, and wait for opportunities. The next 6 months are probably going to be rough. Things figure out, but then people like us, we're going to figure out, okay, how do we make money now? How do we maneuver this way or do this? I've done short REOs, trustee sales. It's what's going to be next, right?
Right. So we're still flipping over here, but the thing that we're kind of really making sure that we're doing now is that anything that we're going to be taking on that's going to be in the future now. We're just making sure that we're going to have that much nicer of a product, because obviously when you've got that many more listings on, when you've got that much more inventory, you just have to stand out. You have to stand out versus all these other ones now. So I think it's going to be a lot more difficult now to just do a quick lipstick flip. It's just not really going to make sense.
You're going to have to make some repairs.
Yeah, because there's going to be 10 other properties that are also active that are within 5 blocks of you that are the exact same property. So that's what we're just kind of trying to make sure now is exactly like you said. You got to buy them deep. You got to make sure that you're safe on them. And we're running it. We never ran it beforehand with there's a potential that if the market continues to go up, that this is what we could get for the property. We're not doing that anymore. So it's we're trying to be very safe as well. What is just a very normal number of okay, this is a kind of a no-brainer price. We should be able to get this if we have a great product. So that's kind of the main difference between.
When we used to buy trustee sales, you always have the 10% in your budget for the unknown, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden there's a city lien or something you didn't know, or something we have to deal with, or your copper gets ripped out of your walls mid remodel.
Yeah, right.
Just having a budget. I think just being smart, not over leveraging yourself, being careful. Because I went through that crash, everything I own, I put down 25-30% on that I keep.
Yeah.
Just because I feel we won't have a 30% market correction, but.
Right. No, for sure.
I always tell people the simple thing is that, everybody has so much equity that they got over the last 2 years that if anybody really wants to sell, they can drop 5 or 10% and sell, right? Mm-hmm. And to them, that 5 or 10% doesn't mean anything, but now all of a sudden you got a new comp that's 5 or 10% below.
The thing is it's really dangerous in a seller's market, which is what we're in, to go really high and do price drop. It's a horrible marketing strategy because everyone's what's wrong with the house? So I'm really big on making people list the home at the right price. I had one the other day, it was worth $825, but I listed at $799. And guess what? It still took 2 weeks to sell. Where if I went at $825, I'd probably be at $750.
Yeah.
Curious, did you get the $825 or did you get the $799?
I got $785.
Okay, so there you go. You got a $725 is your comp and a $825 is your comp. Yeah, $825 is your comp, and you sold for $780. That's only a 5% difference, but technically, the market just kind of lost 5%, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to get ahead of it, and now I'm watching that community. It closed actually today. I'm watching the community and I'm seeing price drop. Mm-hmm. When I'm going into these listing appointments, I'm having we need why do you think your house is worth that much? Here's a house that sold for that much. Is yours this nice? No. Is your curb appeal? So like I'm really having like those hard conversations with people about comps. And the thing is, you know, you just need to be smarter than the market. Like you can't think your highest comp and you're gonna be 10% higher like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like here's my highest comp, I'm 10% less or 5% less. Because I'm gonna go on the market in 2 months if I'm buying it today, right?
So where do you think that anybody have an idea where that like an 825 house is probably a different animal than like the 450 house? Do you think the 450 house is maintained 450 or is it just so, or do you think they're all that way?
I think that as more inventory comes, I think you have a lot of local buyers and sellers that are pausing, more like buyers, not sellers, that are pausing a little bit. But I think where you're going to still sell is all these out-of-state people. So when I'm doing like a luxury thing, I'm doing a lot of online marketing to like San Francisco or Chicago or New York, like somewhere where they're just coming in and spending money. They don't, 2-3 million from someone in San Francisco. They don't care.
Yeah, they just want a nice home in the in the heat.
But I would say like I go above and beyond in my remodels, and I think that's why I've been selling for like over like basically value. The one I did for $785, that was just like a paint put back on the market. But like the other ones, like the more luxury, like I'm just going all out, and people are overpaying like crazy for those. And I think that style, like the modern, the contemporary, like it's still gonna sell.
Right.
Has anybody seen contractors lighten up? I tell people like, I actually told my contractor, I'm like, I'll be your guy in like 3 months when I call me because I'm not gonna pay your crazy prices that you used to have, but I'll fill in the gaps when you need
exactly. I'll keep you busy.
I'm pretty sure I tell your son on a regular basis that I'm still going to be around when these fucking hedge funds won't be. So don't forget us little people over here.
From what Jack said yesterday, they're disappearing left and right now.
Huh?
That's what he said. From what Jack said yesterday, he said that they're already starting to disappear. So they're starting to. You've seen them left and right, either tightening up 10%, 20%, like you said, Chris, or they're just not buying them.
Anytime Wall Street gets involved in anything, it's gonna fuck up our market. The reason we had a financial real estate crash in 07, 08 was because Wall Street got involved. Before that, you really don't see like fraud and like financial fraud and manipulation and like selling subprime mortgages like if they're A+ products and like all this fraud was going on. And now you got Wall Street in real estate again. They've completely inflated the market. The biggest problem is all the the inflated like credits. So Open Door buys a house for $500, but originally they bought it for $420 with an $80,000 credit. So now they bumped up the whole neighborhood. They buy the neighborhood and they're selling at this high price. So like, at what point is that going to stop?
I hear you.
Yeah, good old Wall Street.
That needs to be cracked down on the federal level more than anything because you got all these big iBuyers just like completely inflating our market. I sold a house the other day. Highest comp was $330 in Buckeye. I got $400 from a hedge fund. Now it's listed at $4. You think the market went up 30% in a week in Buckeye or Goodyear?
Right.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I just think people really need to save their money right now. Live below their means. Stop posting photos of their assignment checks on social. Be humble.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's
that's not most real estate people.
You got to think. Okay, so the last 7-8 years have been really easy, right? Like you really couldn't mess up. Everything's up. So what we did was we created very weak realtors and weak wholesalers. Like anybody could get it done, right? Every TC is out selling homes right now.
Mm-hmm.
But as the market gets harder, you're gonna get. So like I come from 20 years in the business, so I've been through some stuff. So I'm a very good realtor because I know how to get stuff done. And like I think the people right now really need to be sharpening their skills and figuring out how to multiple streams of income.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm big on.
There's no doubt about it.
So Lauren, what's your buy criteria right now? What percentage would you be at? 65, 70? I mean, obviously we just talked about that one house that you listed that you thought was 825 is probably down 5%. You know, what's your buy price at right now? Because
that one I knew, like I was like, that's the highest comp. We're in a market correction. So like, I bought it for $650.
Okay.
So and it needed like 15 or nothing. It was an easy one. My buy price, I'd say 65, 70, but like of my comp, not what the wholesaler's sending me.
Right, exactly. Lauren, are you I know you're primarily in Phoenix. Are you doing stuff in any other markets?
San Diego.
San Diego. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So not as like much volume as I do in Arizona, but starting to figure out that market a little bit.
And you're wholesaling and an agent there as well?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I run a team in both states.
Nice. We're going to be jumping into San Diego in the next couple months, actually.
Okay, let's talk.
Yeah, no, for sure. We're going to be directing our team there as well. So I mean, we're still going to be obviously doing a ton of stuff in Northern Arizona, which is our top market, and then obviously Phoenix as well. But we're going to be doing we're going to be directing a lot of our team towards San Diego too.
So are you running the commercials out there as well, Lauren, or just here in Phoenix?
Actually, I'm tapering back on the commercials just because of the elections coming up. It's expensive. And the problem is, like, you're really competing with a lot of people right now. So I'm back to, I got cold callers again and setting appointments. They're setting the warm appointments for the, in-house people to call. And then we've been listing everything basically. Because it's at a point where they know what their house is worth. So here I am competing with Open Door. I can't pay a wholesale price competing with Open Door.
Yep.
But I can list your home and get you an extra 50 grand. Is 50 grand not a lot of money to you? So like, I'm just keeping it, like, for me, I'm lucky because I can go either way and it's what's best for the client.
For sure.
But
there you go.
Wholesaler, like, you need to have a real estate partner. I'm available, but but like, I think that's just really, really important. Chris is partnered with a bunch of realtors too. So like, if it doesn't work out wholesale, like, he can spin it to their listing and it's still coming to the whole company. So Chris has a simple model.
Yeah.
I got my sister as the agent.
There we go. That works.
But I really just try to focus on the wholesale aspect of it. I mean, that's my goal. I just want to buy and get rid of it. And now, backing off numbers. And what we're hearing from Lauren is paying 7 times the cost of lead compared to Luke is probably not the best time to do right now when the buying is definitely slowing down. And your comping should get penciled. You should sharpen your pencil on your comping. And you should probably be buying at considerably less than you were buying before.
No doubt about it. And it should be possible because I think that what we've seen is, right now it's kind of a weird time frame from what we're seeing when we're talking to sellers, because I think that a lot of sellers right now are still like, oh, well, the market's so high. But what we've kind of just been implementing in every one of our calls with our daily trainings with our team is like, okay, what you need to let them know though is that, yes, it was high the last couple months, but go ahead and look at the inventory now. Go ahead and look at the price drops now. Do you want to miss the ball again? Like in 2008. And again, we don't try to use like scare tactics in the sense of saying, oh yeah, it's all gonna fall through again. But like, we definitely just let them know like the truth. And when we say these things, that is the truth. We're not lying about that. The market is softened. There's no doubt about it. So you can go ahead and still want that price, but you're not going to get that anymore. You can say that you might, but you're not going to. And you can tell because you're not, obviously you would have sold it by now if you did. So, because we have so many people that, I've talked to this wholesaler and this guy, and I've talked to, Open Door and all these guys, and obviously they've given them their numbers.
And the problem is a lot of these wholesalers are running around not knowing what they're doing.
No, exactly.
The offers with $1,000 earnest money, and then the seller's like, but look, I'm sold.
Yeah, we'll let them close on it. Go ahead and see if they close on it.
What's your close of escrow date? I'll put a tap on the day after.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so
Lauren, you're a licensed agent, but have you added anything in your contract for the new HB 7 or 2747?
Oh yes.
Yes, absolutely. So we do we don't use the AAR contract for wholesale.
Okay.
We use like an agreement, but yes, we added that, and then we just also added the verbiage to an addendum. The assignments.
Okay.
So you need to notify the buyer and the seller. So the HB 2747 basically just says that if you're a wholesaler, you need to disclose it in writing to the seller and the person you are assigning to. So you need to make sure it's on all your forms. They are coming after wholesalers in state. It's been it's the Wild West, right? It's like the lending business in 03, 04, 05 when nobody was, you're saying a fireman made $500,000 a year stated income. It's like, ow.
Yeah.
A lot of that's being cracked down on.
For sure.
So try to be up and up. Reputation's everything. It's a small world.
Absolutely.
I heard a number, and maybe you guys know the number, Lauren, but I heard there's 90,000 agents in Arizona now.
88,000. Thank you very much.
That's shocking.
88,000. Wow.
I know, and that's the problem. Is like, so like admin, right? Support TCs. They're all out selling because it's easy right now.
Yeah.
So like, we're paying like, I don't know, I'm paying 50% more than I should for my staff per person, and so it's like I'm hoping like those TCs come back to work and work in the office soon, and like you get them out of the field. So I mean, it's been a really fun ride the last few years, but I'm always excited about a shift because I just think there's gonna be a lot of opportunity. But just be smart, buy right, give yourself time, give yourself outs in your contracts. And just,
Well, like you said, I think those people are going to be chased out of town here pretty soon. I mean, those 88,000 agents, when the market gets a lot more difficult, it's not going to be as easy to find these deals, and you're going to actually have to work for it now. And when you actually have to work for it, like you said, it's created weak people, and those are going to be gone, unfortunately.
The thing is, we're in a listing market, so like we're getting a ton of listings right now, and those, like, you're competing against some major players. So if you're like a solo realtor, you're gonna have a really tough time, especially the next couple of years, because you're not gonna beat a powerhouse team. Like if I come in and I'm like, I got 19 people back at the office to support you in this deal. Do you want to work with us? They're gonna pick me over a solo agent. And so I just think there's collaboration is everything. And if you really want to be successful, like join a successful group, whether that's a wholesale group or real estate retail group. But like, it's really going to come down to like, who are you networking with? Who do you surround yourself with? And just always working on yourself and making yourself smarter and better, and like knowing the laws. Like the HB 2747 came out, like things like that. So, the strong will survive again.
Always. They always do.
Always got to be willing to pivot.
Yeah, no kidding.
I pivoted a few times. I've done a few million short sales in my career and REOs, and
well, we don't see REOs and short sales come back. It's just going to be prices sliding, and then and it's hard to buy when your prices are sliding, right?
I think you're going to see a stall. Like the market's going to kind of stall. Like the buyers are you're already seeing it. The buyers are kind of relaxing a little, thinking, hey, we're kind of tipping. Sellers are getting desperate and listing like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think where you're going to make your most money is like your out of state buyers and sellers that are like moving to the area. So like if you're like only SOI and you just do your neighborhood, you're probably going to struggle, and you probably need to figure out how to get some like out of town leads that are coming here.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing about Arizona. We never lack the number of people
Never lack
moving.
visitors.
No, not an issue.
Well, Lauren, we appreciate you jumping on with us. We just like to do 20 or 30 minutes, get everybody, get some information. And we heard from Lauren that the television marketing, which is the most expensive next to radio, is probably not the place right now, because her lead cost was 7 times bigger than Luke's. So
it worked last year, when we were making spreads on these wholesale deals, but now that the market's changing, spreads are getting smaller, so you can't justify like such a huge marketing budget. So we just put it into other stuff, which is basically like, VAs.
Yeah.
Well, last question, Lauren. When you were doing the TV marketing, did you notice like a given percentage of those were more apt to be a wholesale deal versus a listing?
Yeah, I'd say 25% was like listings, and the rest was more wholesale.
Okay.
You give them higher prices a year ago.
Right, exactly.
High prices, we knew the market was going up.
Yeah.
Now we're like, we gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for jumping on, guys. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I will be monitoring. If anybody has any questions or suggestions for new topics, or people that want to jump on, just put the comments below. I'll be watching the comments all evening, and then I'll see you next week, Luke. And thanks again.
Absolutely.
For any realtors that are licensed, I do a mastermind on Mondays at 10 a.m. on Zoom. So just reach out to me, and I can send you the invite for that. But it's going to be more for realtors, not wholesalers. Sorry.
For sure.
That's what the topics are.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Take care. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Lauren. Thanks.